Hi, you guys. I'm Nadia, also known as Nadia's Bookish World 86. I have my TikTok channel and I also have my Bookstagram page. And I, of course, am talking all things books, all things bookish things. Welcome to my first YouTube video and YouTube channel. And aside from books, I also love coffee and I also love Gilmore Girls, hence the Luke's Cup milk. And just want to get right into this channel. Um, as I said, I love all things books. I am a bookish girl. I've always been a bookish girl, hence the sweatshirt reading weather. I live in Southern California, and so any kind of weather is reading weather. Any place is a reading place. I go everywhere with a book, whether it's on my phone or whether it's a physical copy. And so, welcome. We're going to talk all things books. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below. And I just want to go over my top 10 favorite books in no particular order, but I do love all of these books with my heart. So the first book we're going to talk about is The Road to Rose Bend by Naima Simone. And so just to read a little bit of the synopsis, it says Sydney Collins left for the small Berkshire's town of Rose Bend 8 years ago, grieving her sister's death, heartbroken over her parents' rejection. But now the rebel is back, newly divorced and newly pregnant, ready to face her past and make a home for her child in the caring community she once knew. The last thing she needs is trouble, but trouble has just set her body on fire with one hot smile. Widower and Rose Bend Mayor Coltrane Dennison hasn't smiled in ages, until a chance run-in with Sydney Collins, who's all grown up and making him want what he knows he can't have. Grief is his only connection to his wife and son he lost, and he won't give it up. Not for Sydney, not for her child, not for his heart. But when Sydney's ex threatens to upend everything she's rebuilt in Rose Bend, Cole and Sydney may find that a little trouble will take them where they never expected to go. This book, I discovered Naima Simone through this book a few years ago, and I am a die-hard Naima Simone fan. So this book, it's small town. It is interracial romance. It is by a BIPOC author. I love The Road to Rose Bend. If you love small town romance, I mean, look at this cover. It's so gorgeous. Look at it. Pick it up. Naima Simone. The second book that is one of my favorites, that has become one of my favorites, is none other than Brittany C. Cherry's The Mixtape. So Brittany Cherry, this was actually, once again, the first book of Brittany's that I read a few years ago when it came out, and I love it. This book will make you laugh, it'll make you cry, it's emotional. Love it. So it says, 2 songs, same melody. Emery has never felt more alone. Raising her daughter is both her pleasure and her pain, as she struggles to hold on to her job as a bartender and keep a roof over their heads. With no one to help them, no support system, an unexpected expense or late bill could turn their whole world upside down. Reeling from the death of his twin brother and bandmate, rock star Oliver Smith is trying to drink his problems away. Apparently, he isn't very good at it. They follow him wherever he goes. Also in a hot pursuit are the paparazzi who catch Oliver at his lowest low. He could have walked into any bar in California, but he walked into hers. Emery helps Oliver lose the crowd, and they find themselves alone, 2 people whose paths are marked with loss and pain. However, they hold an unshakable hope for healing. They find solace together, but can their love withstand the world? This book, the opening of the book is so emotional. Brittany C. Cherry will have you in your feelings. And The Mixtape, once again, it is by a BIPOC author. You have people of color as at the helm of the story. It's an emotional, it has music, it has drama, it has emotion, it has single parent, the mixtape. Once again, one of my favorites. And the other favorites, are you jotting these down? Because these books, love them. Put them on your TBR list if you have not so already. The other books I have on my phone or on my Kindle. So there's so many, and it was hard to sort of narrow it down to just 10, but these are 10 that in my mind are some of the best writing ever, okay? So we have Her Name is Night by Yasmin Ango, and this is set in Africa, and so this is sort of like an action-packed kind of assassin type book. I'm going to read the synopsis. It says, Her Name is Night revolves around Nima Knight, codename Echo, a highly trained assassin for the tribe, a clandestine international organization dedicated to the protection and advancement of the peoples and countries of Africa around the world. Her Name is Night is a propulsive character story, an action thriller driven by retribution, passion, strength, coming to terms with your own true self, regardless of what anyone calls you. So Her Name is Night is, you have this young girl who is basically a trained assassin, and she is out for justice. She's out for revenge. She's on a mission. And so each chapter, each page, as you go through the story, it has something of a build-up of what's around the corner. And she is out for blood. She is out for blood. This story I read, and I was so enthralled with the story. I believe that it's on KU. I think it's available on KU. Read it. Her Name is Night. One of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. And then another favorite of mine. I have so many, you guys. I have way too many. Okay, I have way too many. Let's go to Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. QB Tyler. Have you all read QB Tyler? You can't miss. QB Tyler does not miss. So Forget Me Not. I did not know what I was walking into when I read Forget Me Not, right? I mean, look at the cover. Just look at the cover. And it says, what do you do when the love of your life forgets? Not the good times, not the love, not the passion, but the pain and heartbreak and betrayal. He doesn't remember that he broke my heart, but I do. He doesn't remember the darkest parts of our marriage. He doesn't remember that 6 months ago I said goodbye. What do you do when the love of your life remembers your marriage, but not your divorce? Y'all, this book had me just so in the feels. And once again, this is a you have a BIPOC author, and you have characters of color, and you have Bennett and I believe it's Olivia. I think this follows Bennett and Olivia. Yeah, Bennett and Olivia. And so you have a cheating trope. Just gonna put that out there because it's well known. You have a cheating trope. You have amnesia. You have a second chance romance. You have all of this together. Forced proximity. You have all of this together in one story. Forget Me Not. I didn't know what to expect from page to page. There are some great friends. There are some villains in the story. But this book is so sweet, and it makes you believe in love. And it makes you believe in the power of second chances. I'm going to take a sip. Gotta have coffee. Have to. Once again, put this on your list if you have not done so already. Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. QB Tyler will get you right. Are you checking all of these off? Put these on your list. And like I said, in no particular order are these my favorites. I love them all. They're all my babies. I love them all. And so let's go to, I will pretty much read anything. Let's just preface this by saying that. I will pretty much read anything. And so whether it's romance, whether it's fantasy, whether it's nonfiction, fiction, whatever, right? So the next book I have is called Open Book by Jessica Simpson. I listened to this audio, I think back in 2020 or 2021 maybe. And you guys, the openness, the transparency of her telling her story and what she went through as a kid, growing up in Texas, as a PK or as a preacher's kid, and growing up in the spotlight as a teen, as a pop star, and then her very popular marriage and life as an adult. It's very vulnerable, the things that she had to endure. And say what you will about Jessica Simpson, I am a Jessica Simpson fan. So I was so excited when she came out with this book and decided to share her story, right? And of course, we all know who Jessica Simpson is, so I really don't need to read the synopsis, but it is her in her own words sort of going and explaining what she has gone through from her perspective, and it really gives you a sense of empathy toward her, and really you get a clear picture of the harsh reality that she had to go through as a teen in the spotlight, everyone judging her, all the decisions that she made, and it was not easy. It was not easy. And this book, read it. If you like memoirs, if you like nonfiction, if you like that type of stuff, or even if you just like Jessica Simpson, read this book. It is definitely worth it. The next book I want to bring up is The Princess Bride, not to be confused with The Princess Bride, but The Princess Bride by J.J. McEvoy. You all, this cover. I saw this cover. I was scrolling on Facebook and I came across this cover. I had no idea who J.J. McEvoy was at first. I saw this cover. I saw a prince with this beautiful face. I read the synopsis. I found out that this is an interracial romance where you have a black princess and you have an arranged marriage and instant love. Instant love. So the synopsis is he is a spoiled playboy prince whose family is in desperate need of money. She's an American heiress who can only get her inheritance through marriage. According to their families, they are a perfect match. According to each other, arranged marriages have no place in modern times, and this could not possibly work. But Prince Galid, or Gale of Esrovia, is bound by duty to obey the crown anyway. Odette Winter doesn't give a care. She doesn't want to get married. Can he change her mind? Can she even handle what it means to be royal if he did? So this is a 3-part series. So this is book 1, but there's 3 parts in the book. And when I first read this book, there's a part in the book where the author mentions Cinderella and the idea of being a black princess. So she references Brandy as Cinderella, right? So a Disney princess. And for me, as a black girl growing up, I didn't really see people who looked like me on screen, right? And so with this book, This book was a salute to my childhood. This was like my fairy princess, right? And this book is it's sweet, but it's not so sweet. You know, like the love story is sweet, but these two characters, they are butting heads because this is a forced arranged marriage, right? He has something she needs, she has something he needs. And so this is sort of a business transaction, if you will. And this is two strong characters with two strong opinions, but they still need each other. And so they have to find a way to get along, to work together, to like each other, and hopefully eventually fall in love, hopefully. So, The Princess Bride, J.J. McEvoy, put this on your list as well. I'm going to take another sip. I will do that from time to time, have my coffee and my books. And the next book, I'm literally going through my Goodreads list and sort of figuring out what is next. The Songbook of Benny Lamont. This was my first Amy Harmon book. I never heard of Amy Harmon before until this book. The Songbook of Benny Lamont. This is the cover. Look at that. Gorgeous. I've read the book. I've listened to the audio. Just Esther Mine and Benny. So, this story is a powerful love story about a musical duo who put everything on the line to be together. It's New York City, 1960. For Benny Lamont, music is his entire life. With his father's deep ties to the mob, the Bronx piano man has learned that love and family can get you into trouble. He keeps to himself, writing songs for his other musicians, avoiding the spotlight, until the night his father brings him to see Esther Mine sing. Esther is a petite powerhouse with a gorgeous voice, and when Benny writes a hit song and performs it with her, their collaboration thrusts the duo onto the national stage and stirs up old issues and new scrutiny that the mob and Benny would rather avoid. It would be easier to walk away, but the music and the woman are too hard for Piano Man to resist. Benny's songs and Esther's vocals are the explosive combination of sound that fans can't get enough of. But though America might love the music they make together, some people aren't ready for Benny Lamont and Esther Mine, on or off the stage. You guys, this book, I laughed, I cried. You are completely immersed in this story. Like I said, it's 1960s New York, an interracial couple. You have the mob, you have music, you have racial tension, you have all of these things. Go read the book. If you have not read this book, I believe it's on KU. Read this book. If you have never read an Amy Harmon book, start with this one. Beautiful, but prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to cry. Prepare yourself to be emotionally, have your heart pulled out of your chest. Prepare. I'm giving you warning. Prepare, okay? So, this book, like I said, it was one of my first books of Amy's, and I adore this book so very much. And it's just a must read. It's a must read. The next book is going to be Dear Yesterday. Dear Yesterday. Guys, and I know I'm saying this with all of these books, but these books have brought an emotional side. I have cried many, many, many tears over these books, over these characters, over these storylines. Okay? Dear Yesterday. I did not know what to expect going into this. Dear Yesterday is by Lindsay Ray Red. And let me just read the synopsis, okay? 7. That's how old Luella McCrae was when her mother abandoned her, leaving her in the driveway of her grandparents' foster home. There she grew up among the other fosters, resenting every day that her mother never came back for her. She left the farm the day she turned 18, her sights set on life in the city. 11 years later, she's still struggling to make a name for herself as a writer in Atlanta. After losing her job and getting kicked out of her apartment, she receives a phone call from her grandmother's lawyer with an offer that's hard to refuse. Her grandma is sick, in need of a caregiver and help around the farm. Luella swore she'd never go back to Chipley Creek. But with no job, no place to live, it only seems like the only option she has. If she accepts, it means returning to the home she said she never would, the grandma she resents, and the love she left behind. Okay, so I read this sometime last year, last spring, I believe. And you all, the relationship between this granddaughter and her grandmother. I am extremely close to my grandmother. And this book, this story it's a very sweet story. It's a very clean-cut story. But the emotions that this story evokes, you have loss. So you have sort of like abandonment, the loss of a parent, the foster care system, right? You have lessons in what it means to work hard, what it means to develop those relationships, what it means to care for another person, what it means to get your heart broken, what it means to struggle and chase after your dreams, what it means to return home after you've left home, returning to the past and having to face yourself and your issues in the mirror. This book, I cried many tears. I'm going to cry just talking about this. Lindsay Ray Red, this was her debut book. Please go read it. Please go read it. It's on, I believe it's on Kindle. I love this book so much. And it's a quiet, sort of slow, sort of calming book. But once you get into it, it makes you reflect, it makes you think, it makes you feel that human feeling of everyone just wants to be loved. And as corny as that sounds, it's true. And everyone wants that sense of belonging. Dear Yesterday, please put this on your TBR. You will not regret it. I promise you will not regret it. The next book I want to talk about is by Nana Malone. So Nana Malone has an extensive catalog of books, and this is a Nana Malone Stan account, just want to let you know. And one book in particular is the Gentleman Rogue series. And so you have King. You have the King. And let me just read the synopsis, okay? What's worse than a gorgeous one-night stand who doesn't remember having you? Having to pretend to be his wife for work. The Rogue Division is a top secret, highly classified, I'd tell you, but I'd have to kill you kind of organization. That kind of organization the government pretends not to love having at its disposal. But we have our newest recruit, Lachlan King, the sexy billionaire playboy who seduced me into the night of wild night. I slipped out of his bed 3 months ago. I never expected to see him again. My future is set. I'm going to be a rogue field agent, and field agents don't date. Not to mention it's forbidden to date each other. I'm relieved at how he also pretends not to know me, so we can avoid any office awkwardness until I realize he isn't pretending. Even worse, I'm assigned to play his lover in the field. So, you have these two characters. They have a one-night stand. 3 months later, or months later, she shows up for work, and they have to work together. You have a division of this organization, right? Of top secret rogue division, highly classified, trained people, right? You're gonna have, one thing about Nana Malone, you're gonna have a Black female at the helm of your story, right? She's going to have a beautiful, gorgeous love interest, right? You're gonna have action. So you're gonna be traveling. You're gonna have someone with a smart mouth. You're going to be moving around a lot. The King, and there's 3 books. I believe there's 3 books. Or 4 books, I'm sorry. The 4th book is coming out in the series. You all, this book here, it's a good time. It is a good time, and you will not regret it. Matter of fact, just put it on your list. Just put it on your TBR. It's in Kindle. It's available in Kindle. Just put it on your list. Read it. Come back to me. Let me know so I can say I told you so. It's a good time. It is a good time. I'm not going to steer you wrong when it comes to books at all. So, the last book I believe that's on this list is a book that I just finished not too long ago. It is a book that is coming out in March. So I was fortunate enough to receive an arc of this book from this author. And it's none other than The Build-Up by Tati Richardson. I am a fan of romance. I am a fan of Black romance. I am a fan of seeing the build-up of romance grow. Okay? So, let me just read the synopsis. It says, a truly unfortunate first day of work leads to unexpected love in this sparkling debut from Tati Richardson. Rumpled and ragged was not how architect Ari James envisioned kicking off her first day at a new firm. And few things can top the horror of her new and extremely hot colleague walking in on her at the worst moment ever. Learning that she'll be working with him on the project that's supposed to get her career back on top makes it harder than ever to focus on her comeback. With a partnership at his firm on the line, nothing is going to stand in the way of Porter Harrison absolutely killing it on his new project. Not his obnoxious rival, not his unpredictable brother, and definitely not his new coworker whose gorgeous curves he accidentally saw and now he can't get out of his head. Listen, neither of them is looking for love. Once their creative juices get flowing, Ari and Porter's connection is obvious. But when their shared goal has always been winning at work. Building a solid foundation for a relationship might end up costing them everything. You guys, so you have a plus size black woman as a character at the helm. You have graduates of an HBCU college, right? You have, they are in the corporate world of architecture. You have two black love interests in the workforce trying to work together while also fighting this attraction, right? It comes out in March 28th. Just go ahead and put it on your TBR, and just go ahead on the 20th. Just go ahead and pre-order it. Go ahead and pre-order it on the 28th. Go ahead and snatch it right up, because this will make you fall in love. This will make you laugh. This will make you blush. This will make you just the journey of falling in love. And once again, these are my top 10, not in any particular order. And I can't just pick 10 favorites, but these are the ones that stick out in my mind right now. Thank you so much for indulging, for sticking around, for allowing me to share my love of books. I am Nadia from Nadia's Bookish World 86. Feel free to follow me again on the next episode. Welcome. Thank you. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Join in the conversation. If you have any questions, put it down below in the comment section. I'm happy to answer any questions, any bookish questions, any personal questions that you have about me and what I love and how I came to this bookish journey. Thank you. Take care.